As you know, Innogy has been carved out from RWE, so we don't own the conventional power plants anymore, so I would not discuss the power plant issue. But we have three businesses. Number one, grid. Number two, retail. And number three is our renewables business. If you look into the grid business, for example, we are thinking about steering our grids with blockchain. Years ago, it was like we had three, let's say, a layer of grids over Germany, and was steered from a big control center, and that is going to be decentralized. When you are looking for a new energy supply, it's very simple. The churn rate of customers has been dramatic, and we must understand now what drives a customer from A to B. How do we perform? We have to use big data and big data analytics to understand why our customers turning from us, why our customers are coming to us, what do we do good, what do we do wrong. It's a total different setup, and this is led by digitalization. But even renewables are affected by digitalization. How can you maintain, for example, a windmill perfectly? When do you need to have a look on the bearings, for example, after some years? You know, usually you had your maintenance schedules every year or so, checking the bearings. Now you have big data, predictive maintenance, predictive analytics for these windmills, but also other impacts are affecting our industry. For example, mobile homes, smart homes, which are more and more in the center of our business over the years. Electrical cars, electrical charging, these are things which impact a company like us heavily. If you are not in the energy business, there are three words which you have to keep in mind about these trends. It's decentralization, decarbonization, and digitalization. These three trends affect us. And that means we have to change our business approach. That means we have to change our organization. That means we have to change also the way we are doing business. Procurement has to change as well. And that has two effects. Procurement itself has to be digitalized and has to be automated not only, but digitalized. And that is our internal process. I would rather like now to focus on the more external process. So what do we as procurement organization have to do to support our business with that? And that change is substantial. If you look, for example, in the past where we had incumbent suppliers, which we know since many years, we go to the market, we have, let's say, half a year time to put a tender on the market. That is changing. We have to be faster because we have to develop the business. We have to be more agile because you're doing that in the development of new technologies, new products, and you have to be way more international because these developments are coming from other countries, for example. So we have to be more international than we used to be. And the last thing is we have to understand these technologies. So our people have to be more digital knowledgeable like we ever have been. We have to develop our strategic buyers into that kind of digital expert of the business so that they understand the full concept of digitalization in the different fields where we are. If you look into procurement over the years, we have developed from, as I call it, square one, being transactional, ourselves into more strategic, basically strategic buying, strategic sourcing. Now, with the technological change which we will have in the future, we have to even be a business driver, business supporter. So we have to change again. That massive change from square one to square two, we have to go to become the business enabler. We are, and that's what I tell my people always, the budget holder, the technical departments are bringing their millions to us. And they do that because they think that we can make more out of the money than they would do. So if we have to want to be in square three, the business supporter, the business challenger, the global understander of technology, And we have to change again, which means we have to understand digitalization. In every aspect, in every product group, there will be digitalization. We have to understand that. We have to see where that develops, and that won't be naturally between Hamburg and Munich. It could be in many other countries. We have to understand not only digitalization, we have to understand technology trends, like e-mobility, like other trends, with new resources, new products which are developing, 3D printing, whatsoever, what is happening. And that we have to do that on a global scale. So that's a big, big change for our people again. We have to be faster because you don't have 15 suppliers, incumbent suppliers over the last 20 years, which you go out to the market, put a tender on the market, negotiate and have a contract. No, sometimes there's only one supplier and you have to be fast. And they are not in Germany, they don't understand German law, and you have to have another approach. We implemented a fast track into our procurement organization for all our product groups, for these new technologies, new solutions on digitalization. That is very, very important. And besides of that, we have to have a big network in the world, because we cannot be from Chile to Japan, from Palo Alto to Tel Aviv. So we have to have that network on social media, on the web, supported by tools which help us to understand what's going on in the market, so that we are really the investment banker of our stakeholders, that they come to us. If we don't do that, if they are coming to us and they think we don't understand the business, we don't understand the concept, we are not thinking, let's say, end to end, but just looking on procurement, it might happen that we don't go to square three. It might be that we fall back to square one. Procurement engineering starts with, for example, organization, how you have to centralize your resources. And I think we're really good at that, to centralize procurement so that you have a buyer, a strategic buyer for each product group throughout the business. But you have to have also other talents to handle that. So we changed also the people who were working in procurement. We introduced on a high scale electronic auctioning, like we did do anything which is in the, let's say, total chain of procurement electronically, which is automation, not digitalization, but automation. Automation of negotiations. We have on average a multiple of savings compared to normal negotiations. Second, we implemented, for example, a tool which is big data process mining. When you are strategic, you have to talk about return on investment. And that is my personal most important KPI. What can we do as return of investment? Giving that back to the business, not talking about the costs which are involved, not talking whether we have, let's say, so many automated processes or whatsoever. Nobody's interested in that. We have to talk about return on investment, and we're talking about that. I'm just in a couple of hours later together with our board and showing them our return on investment, which is quite substantial, which is really bringing value to the business besides of innovation.